Hello and welcome to the New South Wales round of the 2006 Alphera Dutton Rally National Series. It's little Johnny here, and I've taken time out from kissing babies and rubbishing Kim Beazley to welcome you to what is truly a great event in a truly great place. Down here, we've hosted everything from the V8 supercars to the Australian Rally Championship, but we were still feeling, well, incomplete. But all that changed in June when the Alphera Dutton Rally National Series came to town for 3 days of racing around Canberra, Queanbeyan, Goulburn and Sydney. It's so exciting I want to enter with my driver.
Thanks, Johnny. Yes, the 4th annual Alphera Dutton Rally New South Wales will be a true test of man and machine. And from now on at least, free of poorly impersonated politicians. What started in a car park one weekend with a bunch of mates who had nothing better to do than to race each other through the streets of Victoria has now become Australia's #1 tarmac rally, with events in 4 states. In February, Perth not only had the honour of hosting the first Dutton Rally series in Western Australia, but also the privilege of kicking off the 2006 series. And boy, did Perth deliver, offering spectators a ton of thrills and spills. When you think Formula One, Queanbeyan may not come to mind. But as the home of Australia's Formula One star Mark Webber, what better place to run a motorsport event? Over 3 days, 90 cars and 150 drivers unite for the New South Wales round. But not before some pre-event scrutineering in Canberra's Hyatt Hotel. Day 1, and there was something Dutton racers had never seen before in the event's 5-year history. Rain. But while the idea of ridiculing those foolish enough to drive a convertible was enticing, the promise of a hot breakfast and a steaming cup of coffee had the competitors queuing at the door for the first mandatory event briefing, where the humour, well, was at its typical standard.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to this auspicious occasion. It's a joke. Alright, guys, have a great weekend, thanks for all coming. Most of you know the drill, we're here just to have a great time. Guys, just remember out there, we are not racing for sheep stations and millions of dollars. This is just for pride, really. And if you really, really want a trophy that much, I'll buy you one.
Well, on that humorous note, the field drove north for 7 stages at Wakefield Park and Goulburn Airport. 175 kilometres south of Sydney, Goulburn actually held the first Australian Grand Prix in 1927, beating Phillip Island by 14 months. These days, it's known as the home of the world-famous, well, that's what the sign says, Giant Merino. Yep, this is a sheep town, but it's also in the middle of a drought, with Category 5 water restrictions. Not that you'd know it by today's weather. Another Goulburn drawcard is Wakefield Park, the self-proclaimed home of club motorsport, so you know it must be good. A tight, tricky 2.1 kilometre loop built into a natural amphitheatre and the first location of the New South Wales leg of the Alphera Dutton Rally National Series. Originally conceived to cater for car clubs and historic motorsport events, the Dutton's punters should feel right at home here. It's renowned for its tight corners, huge runoff areas and minimal walls. That might prove to be a good thing on the first 4 events, the short circuit and hill climb events. Normally the Dutton Rally holds 1 wet event per day, but today everyone would be taking a bath.
Look at a swimming pool.
Yes, it was wet, but these guys have been wet before. And besides, Wakefield Park was a safe track, right? But someone should have told David Nolan and Matthew Davis in their 1966 Ford Mustang. They span out on the first auto test of the day, the short circuit. But then again, they weren't the only ones.
The focus really hunkers down and grips to the road. It's great. 3rd gear is fabulous. You can do everything in it.
The car show's Samantha Stevens had a close call on the circuit coming through the second last corner.
Come on! Bit of lift off oversteer. Please don't use that.
Wakefield Park may hold regular club events, but it also hosts the Fujitsu V8 supercars, which see 230 kilometres per hour and a 59-second lap time. The fastest cars on the Dutton should be just 5 seconds off that. But what about the wet? How about dancing with the cars? Some would say motorsport in this weather is pretty silly. Some would then say that doing it in an open-top car is absolutely insane. So meet Leo Yu and his 95 PRB clubman.
I'm kind of feeling, used condom wouldn't be a bad term. Yeah, not bad at all.
Did you enjoy it?
Look, I'm absolutely having a blast. Like, regardless of the weather, I mean, it'd be nice to have a nice sunny day, but, you know, still going out there and thrashing the car around, so absolutely having a ball.
So what do you do for real fun?
I swim.
But while some suffered for their cause, others had it sorted. Like David Baird in the most expensive car in the field, the $400,000 Lamborghini Gallardo. It's warm in there. How'd that go, Dave?
Yeah, good. The traction control, you could feel it flicking in. Every time we went and put the power down, it was sort of stammering to sort of get us traction so we could take these corners decent, but it was pretty reasonable time, I think.
Good. How's the car been going this morning?
Oh, fantastic. I feel every time I jump in and put the helmet on, I feel, I don't know if I should be doing this, but geez, it's fun.
With all-wheel drive, the Lambo had an advantage in the wet. But for every all-wheel driver loving the rain, there were plenty of two-wheel drivers loathing it. Like Victorian David Ross in his 92 Toyota Sora, who was lucky to be competing at all. David, good to be on the track.
Yeah, well, we've broken the drought in Goulburn. It's fantastic, isn't it? Us in the two-wheel drive cars, mugged.
Now, you had a big day yesterday.
Yeah, we're working on the car until 9 o'clock last night. So we drove for 10 hours to get here and 4:30 this morning, so I've had 2 hours sleep and then out into this. So, marvellous.
Now, the Sexpo car, tell us about it.
Put a new motor in it 2 weeks ago, took it to Malala last week, blew a turbo and put a new turbo in it in 2 days this week, or one of the turbos, and put on the dyno and 400 kilowatts, bang, and so it's pretty fun to drive, particularly in these conditions, let me tell you. It's, I say, we're not going to win any prizes in the straight line or the rank, we're not going to win any prizes full stop.
Still at Wakefield Park, and the second event for the day was the hill climb. In the dry, the climb is a tough mix of tight corners, but in the wet, things change as the climb becomes severely slippery. How's this for Dicey? Some may be disappointed that in such bad weather there wasn't more carnage. But that's not surprising, as although some were pushing hard in the wet, others were clearly not. Like Katie Idden in the 2005 Porsche Boxster. Slow and steady wins the race, or not, as the case may be. But not all competitors adhered to that sentiment. David McNeil in the 1977 Toyota Celica drove the course in anger. We're still wondering who peed him off. Existing in some form since the 1920s, the Goulburn Airport ran regular passenger flights right up until the early 80s. But with the Hume Highway an option, it leaves the open strip clear for the Dutton's wet 500-metre drags. A true test of man versus machine versus Mother Nature.
It never rains in Goulburn, they say. My goodness.
It'd be fair to say that coming into the New South Wales League, everyone was watching the Nataris Arthur combination, last year's series winners and continual stage winners. Time for someone else to dominate. And with conditions being what they were, other all-wheel drive competitors were in with a real chance. Most cars in the top 20 were all-wheel drive, with Matt Cherry's Evo 6 ahead of Steven Spader, also in an Evo 6, and Dave Baird's Lambo. Once again, those without all-wheel drive were clearly suffering. like the V8 Maserati Grand Sport of Charlie McIntosh, whose traction problems meant he was almost beaten by our rental camera car. Charlie, how'd that go?
Mate, it was actually a lot of fun, very, very slippery, and I was actually a little bit apprehensive. I must admit, I normally would take traction control off, but this time I thought I'd play it safe and left the traction control on, and found it was a much safer drive that way. It was a lot of fun.
Not a bad car to do it in, though.
Well, if you're going to do it, you've got to do it in style, that's what I say.
For rising motorsport starlet Molly Taylor, daughter of navigating legend Coral, the conditions weren't new. Last time we saw Molly, she was hurtling at high speeds into the Arm Cove in the 2006 Mount Buller Sprint. Now you repaired it after Mount Buller, which is good to see.
Yep, we that's all been happening the last couple of weeks, pretty rushed to get it ready, but yeah, we just all new panels and trying to get it a bit straighter. It's all good now.
Good. How'd it go up there, slippery?
Yeah, it was quite slippery, but like it wasn't too bad, obviously, because we're in a straight line. So, and as I said, the Mirage is really easy to slow down, so we didn't have any, stopping problems or severe problems. It was fine.
Good. It's a pity it wasn't a tailwind.
Yeah, exactly. It would have helped me.
But if you thought the competitors had it tough, spare a thought for the officials. Lisa, you're looking absolutely glamorous there.
Thank you, thank you.
Tell us about what you're wearing today at Goulburn Airport.
Today I have on my Bunnings poncho and the new Dutton uniform, the plastic insoles.
You're having a good time?
It's great, it's great.
Come on, tell us the truth.
No, it is. I'm having a ball. No. Wet, but having a ball.
I think we're actually calling this the boat races today. Bit of a river happening out here at the airport.
With 6 events run, lunch offered the perfect chance to dry off. And if you owned an all-wheel drive car, gloat. As competitors prepared for the final event of the day, a full lap dash around Wakefield's 2.1 kilometre circuit. One competitor who couldn't afford to gloat was James Dutton from series sponsor DuttonDirect.com. He was suffering in his front-wheel drive 2006 Mini John Cooper Works Special.
Mini's actually got very serious with us this year. We've actually got roll cages in the car. We've got no stereo anymore. They've taken out the creature comforts, but they produce something that's very, very quick, and hopefully we'll see we can pull some trophies through.
Now, you guys have sponsored it from the word go virtually. It's fairly important to you.
Dutton Direct we founded back in December 04. It's a luxury classified site specifically catering for luxury cars, boats, race cars, property, aviation. It's an open arm for now for us to actually promote that sort of style of the website across to this market.
And so, with the weather still foul and Wakefield looking more like a lake than a park, the final stage was a forced cancellation. Although the action on the track had finished, day one was far from over, with the nightly presentation dinner held at one of the world's great national monuments, the Australian War Memorial. We just hoped our mob would behave as they recounted day one. How'd it go, guys?
Wet, cold, otherwise good. Heaps of fun.
Our father and son team, who's the driver?
I'm the driver. He's the driver, I'm co-driver.
Why, because he owns it?
Pretty much.
And what do you enjoy about the event?
Oh, just to spend some time with Dad, spend some time doing something I love doing, and something brings back some good memories for him, I think. It's been a good 20, 25 years since he's done it, so. Yeah.
Nicknamed the Bridesmaids, due to their second placings in all 5 Dutton events they've entered, local Canberra team Greg Sutton and Bernie Wilson in car number 2, yes, 2, even swapped their Porsche for an Evo 8 in an effort to win the event this year. At the end of the day, you would have been pleased to see the rain, wouldn't you?
Well, I think we were actually. They performed very, very well. All-wheel drive, no problems.
Now, you guys have taken part in every rally, haven't you?
Everyone but the very first Dutton in Victoria. But yes, otherwise we've contested every single one of them, yeah.
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story. We almost didn't recognise Leo Yu in dry clothes. So, Leo, at the end of the day, how'd it go?
The end of the day, well, now that it's the end of the day, I'm warm. And dry, look.
What are you hoping for tomorrow?
I'm hoping for a little bit of this dry weather that we're having at the moment. Don't mind the cold, dry would be nice, yeah.
Cool stuff. Thanks for that. Dave, just a quick one. At the end of the day, how'd it go?
Well, we stayed in one piece. The goal of today was stay warm. We had the climate control on 25 degrees and stay off the wall. And we managed to stay warm and stay off the wall, so it was a good day.
The most impressive result of the day was Mark Berry and his black Nissan GTR, who won 5 of the 6 events and 1 second placing. an almost perfect record. His co-driver Russell Newman carried his weight too, and as a team they were leading the Tarasen Arthur after day one, ahead of Greg Sutton and Bernie Wilson in an unfamiliar third place. Stay tuned after the break when we'll see sunshine, hill climbs and witches' hats for day two of the New South Wales Alphera Dutton Rally.